Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Unit Lost. I am Stalos and we've just had a massive developer update drop which outlines a lot of the changes that are going to hit Season 2 competitive. So let's just go straight into this because there are some major changes. So basically Blizzard want people to see Season 2 as a new beginning. We all know Season 1 had a load of issues, things like the coin flip, it was the worst thing ever. Things like the skill rating system, maybe not the best. So this is what they're actually going to do, or what they've announced so far. So the rank system is going to completely change. No longer will you be rank 69, rank 71 or whatever. You will be between rank 1 and 5,000. And this is going to be split up into bronze, silver, gold, diamond, well probably platinum, diamond, masters, grandmasters. And you won't be falling out of these categories either. Once you get into a category, generally you will not fall out of that category, or there'll be a floor. So if you get to like gold, you're not going to go down into silver. You should stay in the gold thing. Now the reason why they've done this is so it feels more like you don't lose things when you lose, right? Because at the moment you can drop ranks and you can say to yourself like, hey, I used to be a rank 72 but now I'm a rank 68. That's not fair. And maybe it isn't. This new system will kind of address that issue. Now this is very similar to the way StarCraft 2 works, and I've kind of been asking for this for a long time. I mean, we generally, I think this is a kind of like the best of both worlds. Give us a rank, give us a tier, and kind of let us work in that tier. Because let's be honest, right? If a player is, let's say, Masters level, they're probably going to be better than a silver player. So if they get a series of games where they drop down or they lose because their teammates were maybe not the greatest and they go down into silver, that's not really fair because they're not a silver player and then they do get stuck in ELO hell. So this type of system will remove that. So I'm all for this. I think this will be a pretty good change. Next up, we've got sudden death. Now this is gone. What they're going to do is add a time bank system to hybrid and payload maps. Now we kind of know how this works, right? Time bank, you have a certain amount of time to attack, and if I put it into simple terms, so let's say you've got 4 minutes to attack. You attack in 3 minutes, that means you've got a minute left. The enemy team attack in 2 minutes, that then means when it's your turn to go again, you've got 1 minute to do it. And if you don't do it and the enemy team can do it because they've got 2 minutes, then great, they win. But the interesting thing about this is they've got rid of the you just lose instantly at overtime. So I've been there loads of times. I guess you guys have been there as well. Like on Hanamura, you take the first point, but it's in overtime and it's at the end. You've got no time left and that's it. The map just finishes. Now you actually get 30 seconds to try and attack the last point because maybe you're trying to make a comeback. That's kind of the reason they give for that. But what's also interesting as well with the time bank style system, you don't just automatically get that bonus 2 minutes if you've just managed to cap the point with 1 second to go. You do not get any extra time. You've wasted your time there, so you lose, which again is great. Now, there will be some cases where you will actually get a kind of a draw, but this will be so rare. I mean, in the update video, Jeff basically said you'd have to like both not touch the payload and not move it anywhere. It'll be so rare. But to combat that, what they're actually going to do is increase the amount of competitive points you get by 10. So if you received 1 for winning a game currently, you'll now receive 10. Now the reason why they've done this is because if you draw, you will both receive 5 points each, so you receive half, a split. So again, you don't really lose anything and you still get some kind of reward. They're also going to increase the cost of all of the golden guns. So don't think you're going to be able to buy loads of golden guns because all the competitive points are going up by 10. No, they're going to go up by 10 as well. Or by times 10 actually. Another interesting thing is you see this a lot, right? You see people, you've got people who abuse this system and you've got people who just want to play with their friends. So you get a rank 70 group with a rank 40. Now there's a massive skill gap there. This is using obviously the current ranking system which is in the game. Now if they're just genuinely playing together as friends, it's still going to be unfair to the enemy team because you've got a rank 70 on your team. That is going to be ridiculous, especially if everybody else is like 40s and 50s. So what they're going to do is they're going to trial a system where you can only group with people that are within 500 levels of you. Now remember, this is out of 5,000. So this is going to be interesting. This is going to mean you will not be able to play with your friends if they're a much lower rank than you. But we're going to have to see how this plays out. And they are saying go and test it out on the PTR. So we'll see what happens because they've got a balance, right? They want you to play with your friends, but they also don't want you to abuse the system. So they've got to do something about it. And this is sort of the first step into that. We're also going to have ranked decay. This is pretty good, this is, if you ask me. Now the way this is going to work is after diamond you will lose, like, so when you're in the diamond category you will lose 50 ranks per day if you haven't played in a week. Now this will stop if you start playing again, but what this means is you can't just go up to Grandmaster and sit there and go, hey, I'm Grandmaster. You will drop down, and you will drop down to a minimum diamond level. So you won't go below diamond. It's not like, okay, I used to be Grandmaster, I never played for 2 months, now I'm bronze. That will never happen. You will just go into diamond. So I think this is good because this kind of encourages people who are at the top of the game to keep playing the game over and over again. And also, talking about players who are at the top of the game, the top 500 players now need to have played at least 50 games. You can't just do your placement matches, get lucky, come out with rank 79 and then go, oh yeah, I'm top 500, then just never play again. You have to have played 50 games, which will make it more sort of consistent with like your ability, yeah? Because some people do get lucky, right? Some people could just get lucky and be carried, and they could be top 500 as a result of that. They'd have to be very lucky for that to happen. But this will actually stop that from happening. And they also go on to say, well, Jeff goes on to say there will be more changes as well, which they haven't announced. So I want you guys to let me know what you think about this, because I think this looks to be a pretty good system. It's sort of a mashup between what we've got at the moment and what we had before in the beta, where we did have this tier system where you couldn't get demoted, but it didn't actually give you a skill sort of rating. Like, you didn't actually know how good you were. At least with this system, you will have a rating between 1 and 5,000, but you will also be classed as like a gold player. So what this system is designed to do is combat the thing of like, oh, I used to be ranked 70, now I've gone down to 79, 78, 60. You wouldn't go down to 78 or 79, would you? You're down to 68, 65, whatever. You've dropped down in rank. That's a bit of blow. With this system, you can still lose the rating, but you'll still remain as like a diamond player or a gold player unless you lost an absolute shed load of games, in which case you would go down categories. Alright then guys, let me know what you think about that in the comments below. They are some pretty interesting changes there. I think this looks to be pretty good. It's interesting that they say basically forget about Season 1. Season 2 is going to be a fresh start, because Season 1 is annoying. You know, we've all been there. We've all been coin flipped into the abyss and all that crap going on. So it's going to be interesting to play this system. And yeah, alright guys, let me know what you think about this in the comments, as I just said. And tweet to me as well, which is @UnitLostGaming. And yeah guys, I'll see you on the next one. Toodaloo. Oh, and also, apologies if the sound is a little bit different. I'm actually recording this on my mobile setup. Alright guys, I'll see you on the next one. Toodaloo.